But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around.
Today, we tend to think of the First Amendment protecting individual liberty. Each of us enjoys the individual or personal freedom to speak as we feel, except when we don't. There are many times and places when our right to speak is limited. Can I say, for instance, I have a bomb in my luggage while I'm on an airplane? No. Or can I falsely shout, "Fire," in a crowded theater? No. There are also kinds of speech in which I may not engage. I can't publish obscene material of certain styles or state secrets or false information without punishment. I can't copy someone else's speech and sell it to other people. But in broad terms, the First Amendment is now quite speech protective. It is also individually centered. It hasn't always been so. Wait, what does that mean, individually centered? Aren't rights and liberties always individually centered? In the case of freedom of speech, the answer is no. The modern First Amendment, as we know it, emerged about 100 years ago in a string of famous decisions and opinions prompted by radical political speech during wartime. Some of the most influential legal minds of the 20th century, Oliver Wendell Holmes and Louis Brandeis, were the prime movers in the legal expansion of individual liberties. But this story is also set in culture and in the lived experience of Americans who increasingly began to feel that free speech was a fundamental individual right. The cases we read in this unit contribute not only to the law, but also, perhaps more importantly, to the public vocabulary, the shared feeling of free speech in all Americans. But what came before the individually centered First Amendment? How did Americans and the courts understand their individual right to free expression before 1919? The answer is it depends. In actual fact, the area was a mess. Enforcement of anti-obscenity laws and censorship practices were widely variable by state and locality. There weren't many important legal decisions that articulated anything resembling an individual